image. So
Yeah.
the way this works is there's this program, and it's very easy to use. You don't have to like do any fancy computer coding or anything like that. But you can just kind of write whatever you want, and then it will just like try to do its best to like come up with an answer. So one of the things, this is a format we've been using where this is obviously not for this week, but imagine there's a cartoon where a man and woman are having a picnic. You might even remember this one. There's like
Sure.
clouds above it, right?
Yeah.
So then you leave what you want it to fill in blank, and then it will just write something the best that it can do.
Okay.
So I have no idea what's gonna happen, but I'm just gonna hit submit, and we'll see what it says. So, oh yeah, sometimes it gets angry because, hold on. There we go. It just wrote, "I don't like you." I don't know what that means. It was just like the caption it came up with. This other stuff is kind of like, ignore it for a second. But
right.
But this is how it works. And so we've been playing around with this for a while, and sometimes it produces really good things, sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, so I think what we will first want to do is write what the description of the cartoon is, and then from there we'll see what it says, and then maybe riff on that from a caption standpoint. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, what's in this image?
All right, so a couple are sitting on a couch. It looks like each one is holding a remote control, and they're surrounded by 5 guys who have metal detectors and are sweeping the floor around the couch looking for precious metals.
Sweeping the couch.
Oh, and the woman is saying something to the man.
Yeah.
You have to identify the speaker.
Something to the man. Okay, so we're gonna put this in here, and it's probably gonna just come out with nonsense, but this is just to kind of demo like how this works, just from a high level. So a couple are sitting on a couch and holding a remote and surrounded by 5 guys who have metal detectors who are sweeping the couch looking for metal. The woman's saying something to the man. Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, I don't know if this is important or not. They're sweeping the floor around the couch. They're not sweeping the couch.
Oh, yep.
Right.
They're sweeping the floor around the couch. All right? Is that about right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. So we'll submit this and see what happens. So maybe not a hit, but the caption it came up with was, "I'm telling you, I don't know what the remote controls how the remote controls keep getting lost," which I guess kind of works. I mean, it's not like, I'm not.
It makes some sense because we make sense of it in that it probably just, it played off remote controls and such, right? And therefore it came up with something that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting that it did it because people do lose remote controls all the time.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe something is fine. I actually have, and I can't stand this. I have 3 remote controls for my TV.
No, I do too.
And I have 3 daughters, and one of the remote controls is always getting lost, and it's driving me insane. And so it does seem that one angle you could pursue is looking for a 3rd remote control, although it'd be really hard to put that into a concise caption. But
I mean, I had an idea for a cartoon where aliens, are flying away from Earth, and they say, "I can't believe they still need 3 remotes." Because, and I actually think of this each time I go down to my Apple TV, the sound bar, the thing that turns on the cable.
Yeah,
there's always a certain amount of trepidation that goes on before it works. Well, it came up with something. I mean, usually, Lawrence, you'd be trying to, bring together these different frames of reference of Well, my associations were sometimes you have money in the couch or coins in the
Right.
couch, or
Right.
you're sort of looking for that and then figure which way to go. And then the other thing is, I guess, usually they're on the beach.
Right.
And why are they not on the beach?
Right.
Or is this beachfront property of some sort?
Right.
Just trying to like figure those things out.
Or I was thinking the beach angle too, because I was thinking was she looks. I mean, they're just sitting at home. They look kind of bored. And one thing I was thinking is the chief complaining and saying something like, "Next year, I want a real beach vacation."
Well, I think that's pretty good.
Right. This is what he provided me with that.
That sort of puts it makes us think at another level. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it does connect with the picture.
Yeah.
And
there's
it's sort of ludicrous and funny to think that this is what the good thing about the vacation is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so quick question. So we have like a couple angles here. We have one which is around like losing stuff, and the other thing being like they're actually at the beach, or they think they're at the beach type of thing.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Or this is his kind of a substitute, for he's trying to create a beach-like atmosphere in their living room.
Yeah.
By having these guys sweep the floor around them as if they're at the beach.
Yep.
Because that's where you see these guys typically.
Yep. Yeah. So like one thing we could do here in terms of like helping write a caption would be like write a funny caption for a New Yorker cartoon. And then we could say something like this isn't about the beach. I'm just saying losing remote controls, right? And then ideally it would start to riff just on, I don't even know if this all makes sense. Yeah, this is kind of getting lost, but yeah, there's like ways to like refine the prompt a bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting that it focused on the remote control, because I think sometimes a successful caption does focus on one element of the cartoon that other people might overlook.
Yeah.
But Drew has them absolutely each holding a remote control.
Yep.
And so it is kind of interesting that the program honed in on that.
Yeah.
Although I don't think it's a great caption.
No, not a great caption.
Right, yeah, partly because they have the remotes, or they have something in their hand. I mean, it's interesting that they both have remotes, in that, it's like,
Well, that's why, I mean, it's odd, and I didn't know, it's interesting, Bob, that you say you have 3 remotes, too. I didn't know if everybody has 3 remotes. And if that is standard, then the fact that
they don't,
filming does kind of support the idea that the guys are looking for the 3rd remote, but
maybe they get something. Maybe there's some sort of prize. Maybe they're looking for like the person who it's some sort of hunt. I mean, what are they looking for?
Right.
Usually, these people they're not a team. They're competing.
Right.
They're not a team. You know what I mean? And so she's talking to the guy, to the guy on the couch, about like who. Well,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just came up with one when I saw him. What are the metal detectors looking for? If they're, I mean, they're normally looking for precious metals, but if you try to connect that to the couple on the couch and the fact that she's speaking,
yeah,
I was thinking she could be saying something like, you can propose without a ring, like that's what the guys are doing. They're all trying to find.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Or something, and you could propose. Yeah, you could propose without a ring. She's saying, like, just get rid of these guys. We don't need them. Just ask me to marry.
It sort of assumes a lot of thinking on the.
Yeah.
Like a lot of putting together. Like they're looking for. I guess they're looking for. I mean, that's what they normally be looking for, right, on the beach, right?
Right.
And
it's asinine. I mean,
or
that's
how about wouldn't it be shorter? I'm wondering, Lawrence, if she said something like, you could just buy a ring.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is it's assuming a little more work. You could just buy a ring.
Right.
And rather than putting the whole expository about, you can propose without a ring, it makes it a little better because the guy becomes cheap then.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's more aggressive.
Right.
And he is worse as a person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so and of course it's this ludicrous thing that somehow we've accepted the premise that you can find in a living room a ring like you could on the beach. But still, it's sort of, it's not bad, I don't think.
What about, like, I was thinking about the ring thing too, around, like, do you think, like, maybe so they've lost the remote, could she have lost her ring, or, like, something else besides a remote that is, like, more attached to, like, something that metal detectors traditionally look for?
Yeah, she could, you're right, she could have lost the ring, but somehow they don't seem involved in that way.
Yeah.
They're
well,
I mean, it's difficult because they do have remotes.
Yeah.
They are sitting on a couch. We don't see a TV.
Yeah, but there's got to be.
We assume there is a TV. I mean, so you could think of it from that angle, right, Lawrence? Like, what's on the TV? What are they?
Right.
How did they do something to get these people there?
Yeah.
Did they answer an infomercial of some sort?
Right, like the old Steve Goodman.
What about this angle here of, like, they're looking for, like, money around the couch,
Well, I think that would be good because there's that old trope, although I think it's true actually, where people lose change in the couch.
Right, lose change in the couch.
She could be saying something like they're looking in the wrong place, or
right.
That's not where you're going to find the loose change.
Yep. My caption would be to say to him, "Don't mention the couch."
Oh, yes.
So it's like they're so dumb.
No, it is dumb, but
and they don't want them to find this. We don't know. I mean, maybe they're a weird gang of metal detector burglars. And, maybe this is a house invasion of some sort.
Right. No, I really like that one. I mean, it's stupid, but it's not stupid. It's kind of brilliant. It's very silly,
Yeah, don't tell them about the couch. And
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that is funny. I mean, so it's my particular taste, rather than looking for some pun or something. Just this whole.
Oh, I hate puns.
But it was based on your idea.
But I like that one. Just to go back to the remotes.
Yeah.
I just think, again, if there's this idea that it's standard to have 3 remotes, and we see 2 of them, and the idea is that this is really stupid, but the idea is they're looking for the remotes, and she could be saying, that's not where they're going to find the 3rd remote.
Yeah.
Like the 3rd remote can be under the floorboards. It's going to be.
Yeah.
It's too complicated.
But I guess one of the problems also for me with the remote is they're metal detectors.
Yep.
Well, maybe there's
batteries
with remote detectors, because I didn't even know there were. I'm just trying to think about what these devices are that we might not usually think, because if they're looking for a remote, who are these people? and
Yeah.
I mean, they're all guys, right?
I mean, the money route. I want to go back to the money route too because I feel like, what if they've become wealthy, like continuing to like metal detect around this sofa? Like this has been just like, like a source of consistent income from the couple.
Yeah,
losing
yeah,
change.
yeah.
Well, yeah, she could be saying, just how many coins do you lose?
Yeah.
Or
Well, there is a coin shortage.
There's a coin shortage.
I mean, it's sort of topical. It's actually now hard. Coins are sort of valuable now. I think not actually valuable, but I know where they're valuable because now I don't have any quarters. So if there's a parking meter, it's like you can't get quarters anymore.
Right.
Because of the pandemic, I'm never using cash. I'm never using cash. I'm never getting change. And then anytime you would, or I was thinking I wanted to vacuum my car out. So, they have the gas stations where you can vacuum, but you need quarters. And
could she be saying something like, somebody finds your loose change valuable?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't care. He just lets it fall out anywhere. But these guys are so anxious that they come in with the equipment.
Yeah.
No, not good.
There are 5 of them. I don't know what that means. Maybe they're a team of some sort. Maybe they're 5. I don't know. It's like a number that's a team number of basketball.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Well, this caption's interesting. It's definitely not more sexual, but
I like this.
but like, it's interesting to then like her commenting on what they just.
I guess it's either the remote or the batteries from the vibrator. They're all getting a piece of us.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Well, I don't get it either. But I like the idea of like she's commenting on what they just found last time. Like they found something and they've come back and they're like really, and there's 5 of them. There's not 1 anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did they get? Yeah. Right, they attracted
something. Like ever since they found blah blah blah, they've been swarming the sofa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I should probably get off the remotes, but there's one thing I want to mention. There's no need really for Drew to have put remotes in their hand. It could just be a couple on the couch or having a conversation.
True.
Well, wait. Don't tell me. You say you know what Drew's.
Good one. Okay, so I just took out the remote control stuff because I feel like it was getting. So it spit out. It's the only way to find out if we're still married. So in this case, they're looking for the ring, which would make sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The ring. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So if there's no remotes, what are some other, I guess, like launching pads here?
Well, they kind of look. This is kind of going back to the trope of the woman doing all the housework, but they look like they're pushing vacuum cleaners, but they're not. They're metal detectors, and maybe she's saying it would be better if they were vacuum cleaners. Like, could we just give one of them? Could we just give one of them?
Yeah.
It's like they have. It's sort of like just like guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have no
but she would be saying, this is not how you vacuum.
No trouble pushing these. I'm just giving the concept of these useless, ridiculous things that don't do anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Rather than something useful.
Right.
So it's like maybe a confusion.
Yeah.
It would have been worth it, if they were. I mean, I think that's nice in a way because there's a visual congruence.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it adds if you can get a decent caption, it adds something to it that most people wouldn't be thinking of. And
how many?
What do you think?
There are 5 guys. How many guys are on a hockey team?
5, right? 5?
Was it 5?
Well, we can ask GPT-3.
Yeah,
Because they kind of look like. I mean, if you're saying the metal detectors, kind of like vacuum cleaners, are also kind of like hockey sticks, the way they're holding them. But I'm not sure where the caption is there. Or something like
Yeah.
that. This is yeah, and it yeah.
What do you think of this caption?
I like the vacuum one actually, but
what do you think of this? I don't think we should use our silverware tonight.
it's funny. It's
that's all right.
That's not right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put that into the list. But yeah, what would be interesting if like she's saying to the man like, we better not like, or otherwise these men are gonna lose their mind type of thing, right?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. They all have the headsets on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can hear. So that's nice in a way because that permits us for them to say something that the guys can't hear. So we could talk about silverware where if they didn't have the headsets, it'd be sort of weird because
Yep.
Anything? No, then let's see who's buried in the backyard.
Oh my God. It's a little dark.
I like dark.
What's buried in the back? Yeah. It's like, yeah. So maybe this is not like, they're not actually looking in the sofa. They're just like sweeping the whole entire home, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they're looking for something under the floorboards. You
Yeah.
know? But
yeah.
So your prompt is.
So I took out the remotes. I said a couple are sitting on the couch surrounded by 5 guys who have metal detectors who are sweeping the floor around the couch looking for metal. What is the woman saying to the man?
I see. But I'm just saying that the way the program works is what do you? I'm just curious because what do you put in? Write a funny caption for New York cartoon. What's under that? Is there some code under that?
No, this is literally it. But we can do in the style of Jerry Seinfeld. You know, you're gonna get something a little bit different, right? So, yeah. Anyway, so but we can kind of do anything and say in the style of Jerry Seinfeld about the coin shortage, right? Was another thing we were playing around with last time.
Yeah,
it's just Bob and I,
right.
and then like it's kind of riffing off of that topical thing is one other direction we can go to.
Yeah, so maybe for some reason they have to feed a parking meter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's pretty interesting to see, Lawrence, about just what you can actually sometimes it makes no sense, but often.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I mean, often it can give you associations, or it gets close enough where you think, oh, there might be something there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, like why? Look.
This is not the worst. I know, sweetie. If I didn't know better, I think you were hiding something. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there.
I mean, what I will say is that if a person came up with that caption, it would be considered humorous.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, most people can't come up with anything, right?
Right.
So and I'm not. We're judging it within the context of like winning or doing well in the caption contest. But if there's a game like the caption contest game, you say, okay, that's an answer. It may not be great, which is really sort of a step above what these things usually can do.
As much as I hate puns, can you ask it to spit out a pun?
Yeah. So write a funny caption. I don't know if it will do it. Let's do this. So,
using a pun?
Using a pun, yeah. Using a pun. And there's other things we can do, like just write some puns. Well, it did not do it. You never know what you'll find on the couch. Let's see if I try this a couple more times. Well, it picked up on the hockey thing, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come it came up with hockey?
I don't know. It just kind of did. Maybe it's listening to us. She's saying
Yeah.
last time I let you bring your pals round to play floor hockey, which kind of is
Yeah.
a little bit on for the pun thing. I think like it'd be like, what are puns for metal detectors, and I guess like what would be the other thing that we're trying to pun, you know?
I don't know, relationships or
Yeah, we can try. I don't know if these work. A double-edged sword, a hole-in-one, tin ear. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, metal. Maybe there's some wordplay with metal. Metal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Metal and metal. Mettle. You know, maybe she's vetting him with a metal detector. Mettle.
Yeah.
I just not my thing, but it
Yeah. They're both looking for gold, but only the people in relationships are digging for the nuggets. I mean, it's a little poetic, but yeah. Let's see what else. Yeah.
Wondering if we can relate it somehow to, and it. Well, I don't know. You know, bitcoins or cryptocurrencies, or I'm just thinking of a way that makes Lawrence, where you try to get something current going in the contest.
Right.
Someone, right. You know, they're not going to find any crypto. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's give it a shot. Yeah. So I hear you're a Bitcoin enthusiast. One of the captions that came
but
up.
It's like
all right. Well, before we spend too much time on this, I'm just kind of recap what we've got here. You could tell me what sits with you the most. So we have something around losing remote controls and looking for the third remote. We have the idea that they're at the beachfront property, and
it's like a pseudo vacation.
Yeah.
Next time I want a real vacation.
Yeah.
A real beach.
It's his pathetic attempt at a beach vacation.
Wait, say that again?
Well, it's his pathetic attempt at a beach vacation. The caption that I thought of was, next year I want a real beach vacation.
Right. I'll write that down.
Close to this.
Next year, I'll email these to y'all. You can tell me which one you want to. Next year I want a real beach vacation. Then we have, you can propose without a ring, or you can just buy a ring. We have something around loose change, or not mentioning the couch. Don't tell them about the couch.
Yeah.
We have, how many coins do you lose? We have it's the only way to find out if we're still married. Like the ring is somewhere.
Yeah.
Sweetie, if I didn't. Oh, that's one that I came up with. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were hiding something. I don't think we should use silverware tonight.
The hiding something one, that was the computer that came up with it, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the best of the computer generated caption.
I like that one. I really like that one. And then I think we had I'm sure I had a quarter here somewhere. And I'm not sure, but these guys with the metal detectors seem pretty sure it's here. And then then let's see who's buried in the backyard. So anyway, I guess like using your caption writing mind, what kind of like thematically do you think would speak to you most to submit?
Well, the one I would like to submit is the you can propose without a ring. That's one I came up with that I would like to submit this week.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
So is it you can propose?
I don't like beginning captions with I would just be sure, like you could propose without a ring, or you can propose without a ring. One of those two.
Okay.
But I kind of like the idea of the vacuum that she's thinking of how she can maybe make the best of this situation by giving them something useful to do, but it'd be the same motion in a way.
Yeah.
Um, 'cause- and then the beach vacation, I guess. Those are the three I like. I did like about Don't Tell Them About the Couch. I really like that one actually because it plays on that old idea, which is true, that there's a lot of loose change in couches.
Yeah. Yep.
And I like the idea that they're trying to
So
pull down.
So Lawrence, you pick the one you want, and then we can, well, Matt, you can have a number of people submit, or you have a voting thing.
Yeah, we pick like 5 or 6 and have people vote. So there's like another meta level of voting. But Lawrence, if you want to submit, just tell me which one you're submitting so we know that.
The one I'm going to submit is you can propose without a ring.
You can propose without. Okay, great. So we won't touch that.
That's great.
And then and then I was thinking like just for like another minute or so, I was going to write a funny caption for a cartoon about vacuums and just see if we can like guide it towards that idea. I don't know if that really works and you thought your in-laws were bad. That's one of those captions that probably works for anything.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of getting confused with vacuums not even being in the description. So
yeah.
Cool. I guess what we're going to do is probably take some of these captions. I'll email everything out and just put them to a vote with some of the readers that we have. And then I'm going to go back and watch this video to just see like which were like basically didn't involve the AI at all, which ones were like riffed off of something bad that was outputted by the artificial intelligence, and then which ones were like actually verbatim copy and pasted. So we just have an idea of like where things fit among all the captions we came up with.
All right.
Yeah, but this was really fun.
I mean, I think one of the things that's interesting is that even when the AI comes up with it, it's not really just the AI coming up with it.
Right.
It's very neat, but it's you have to
prompt it.
You have to prompt it in the right way, but still after that, it's. I think it's conceivable. This is a kind, if it could get better, or we could figure out how to work it better. It's a conceivable collaborative tool for a lot of creativity. Provided you're not asking it to do the thing itself, and that's like the game. It has to do it, which doesn't really make much sense to me. But this is the first thing I've seen that is actually engaging as something to fool around with, and you could see where you could get much better at it.
Yeah.
Well, I could see this. I could see the program spitting out, a caption that doesn't really work, but it sparks an idea.
Or it sparks an idea of how to reframe your prompt.
Right.
And that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Well, this was
anyway
one of the vacuum ones. It wasn't great, but I was thinking like I don't remember this vacuum cleaner having all these attachments, and that made me think about like what if they just added an attachment and then she's saying, well, at least with the right attachment, we won't have to vacuum anymore or something like that, right?
It's clunky, but it's got a good, got, it's. If they only had such and such attachments, it would be blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes there's a good concept, like there's a funnier concept, but it's hard to actually make it work within the text, the syntax. It's still got to work as a verbal joke that's fairly compressed.
Yeah.
Without, you could say, oh boy, I would really love these metal detectors if instead of metal detectors they were vacuums.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That would be great.
And that's like almost an anti. That's like one of the meta contests, like the monkeys you ordered. Well,
yeah.
Or the silliest of those is saying, do you realize there are an awful lot of metal detectors in our living room?
Yeah.
So that's like a kind of just, but the idea usually behind the joke is there if you could sort of shoehorn it.
Well, this is actually an interesting angle, and I feel like we probably exhausted this, but this wrote, in my day we just used a broom, which is kind of funny because we wrote sweeping the floor in our description.
Yeah.
So maybe like he's confused because she asked him to sweep the
Yeah,
floor.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. In my day, we
Yeah.
just
I don't know.
used it. It was just one person and a broom.
Something like that.
That's what I'm trying to know why are there five?
Right.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
anyway.
thinking there's some joke with the Five Guys store thing.
Yeah.
Well, but all right. Well.
Yeah. Well, this was really fun. I know we've been going for like 45 minutes now, but
well, it's fun, but it's very tiring.
Yeah, it is tiring.
I find it sort of exhausting. It's like it seems like it's fun, and it is fun because everybody